Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Not Just a Cleaning Lady show. Kevin and I are here in Northeast Texas, streaming live with you with Fernanda Cavalaro. And she has a cleaning service, Mama Fer in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So she is originally from Brazil. And so I'm really excited this morning to hear about her journey growing, coming to America and growing her cleaning service. So welcome, Fernanda.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here and share with you guys a little bit of my journey into here
Mhm.
and also learn some from you guys because I know you've also been in this journey for a while. So
Yes,
there you go.
absolutely. So tell us what brought you to America and what was that journey like coming from Brazil and
hmm
growing up there? So,
Okay.
yeah.
So cleaning was actually never in my plans, like when I came to United States, although I know that there's a lot of immigrants here that have cleaning business, but I came because I got a scholarship to study music. I play bassoon, which is an orchestra instrument, is a woodwind instrument. A lot of people don't know
I've
about
never heard of
bassoon,
that
but it's
before.
like, yeah, so it's like a long, if you see a orchestra, normally we are in the middle of the orchestra. It's kind of a long instrument, like a wood reddish normally. It has like a little bocal that
Do
came
you
and
do
we
you
play.
stand up when you play it, or do you have to sit
We
down?
can stand up or we sit down. It just depends like where we're playing, like if it is like a concert hall or a recital. Anyways, so I was a classic musician, like by trade, like I was in Brazil doing minding my business. And a friend of mine that was here studying, he's like, look, they're giving scholarships. Why don't you apply? I was like, man, I actually did not even wanted to come to United States. Originally, I wanted to go to Germany. I was actually studying German,
Oh, wow.
Cool.
but I mean, my English was okay, let's say like that. And so I applied, did the recording, like the audition, and I got a scholarship. I was like, okay, so what do I do? So I came, and until then, no, literally, because I mean, I'm in Sao Paulo. I'm from actually in Brazil. I'm from Sao Paulo, which is a big city. It's kind of very similar to New York for like it is what would be New York for here to United States comparing. Is the financial center in Brazil. So I came from a basically rural area, like right Mississippi. I've never heard of Mississippi, and I was like, man, when I got here, I was like, where am I? Like because I mean, a big difference actually was not really actually the city. It was like no public transportation, and that was a big cultural shock for me. I was like, man, like I came from subways, buses,
Right.
everywhere. Like you can travel everywhere you want to go, and here, like you're stuck if you don't have a car. So that was the first, like, and then okay, fast forward, I graduated. In my actually, I had my daughter 1 year before I graduated, and then I was like, then like your life changed a little bit when you have
Oh,
children, right?
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, man, what do I do now? So I actually wanted to be a orchestra musician. I didn't want to be a professor. By the time 2016 came around, I graduated and I had interviews to be a music teacher in a private school here. But also I had the idea of opening a cleaning business because I had other friends that they did it. And I was like, man, do I control my schedule or I work for somebody else and let them decide what I get paid?
Right.
yeah.
And I actually for 6 months did it like under, I don't know how to say, but I mean, just for cash. I was
Right.
just trying,
Yeah.
see if it was going to work. So I started, I think as many people do, like using the client's product. So I basically just put a message on Facebook. And I was like, hey, I'm starting a cleaning business. Do you know anybody? Or actually reach out for some friends that I knew. And if you know about anybody that needs it, let me know. That is how I started. By December, so that was June, by December of 16, my income was already the same income of the household.
Wow.
And then I was like, wow, this is good. And I was not even working full time. It was just a couple houses a week, let's say like that.
Mhm.
And then I was like, okay. So I started researching, like, because if I'm going to do this, I want to do the right way. So I started researching about insurance, how to open a business, how to hire, That was another endeavor by its own. Because I mean, cleaning is like literally one thing. Being a business owner is a completely different thing.
Right.
Yep.
And about for another year, I think I stayed cleaning, and then I started hiring, and then like developing procedures and processes so I could bring people in. Because once you're managing people, then you need to be mindful. You're not the only one doing. You have to teach other people how to do it in the right way, and then of course you learn the hard way, right? Like when people make mistakes, they do something, and then you have to fix it, and then that brings other things. Yeah, so that is kind of how I came to the business. Actually, it was due to my daughter because I wanted to spend more time with her.
Awesome. And what year was that you started
2000s.
Mama First?
So I started 16, but officially it was 17, right? So I tell everybody January of 17.
Very cool. I know a lot of people in our community can really relate to that, want to just be with our children and like have more flexibility and control over our schedules. And so I think a lot of people come into this industry with that in mind as well. And I know I did when I started Handmade in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was actually studying to become an RN, and I had like a year left, and I started cleaning houses, to support myself through college, and I was raising my two young daughters, and I realized I don't want to stop doing this. Like I actually enjoy this, and I get to dictate not only my schedule, but like how I handle things. And I know that some people have come from the medical field, and I'm the kind of person that if I see like something going wrong or things not being handled properly, or like a patient might die if we don't take this step or whatever, and then having to be under the doctor's dictation, and they're maybe just wanting to make money or something. And I know this is kind of off topic, but not really, because we're having our own business, we can really make a good difference in this world, and we aren't under the dictation of the system or just protocols made by other people, and
that is true.
have a bigger impact on the world. So, but yeah.
Well, when you're the owner of your business, you get to make those protocols and decide how you do it and how you don't do things.
Exactly.
Which is great.
It really is. So when did you start hiring, and how did you go about doing that?
So I don't remember exactly, but it could have been sometime in 17 or 18, like it was still in the beginning. But I've noticed because there's another thing about that I learned on hiring. A lot of people want to work 40 hours a week, right? But when you come to this industry, it's kind of a workout. You cannot just start 40 hours a week. If you're not, you cannot go to work next week. And a lot of people don't understand that. And even like me, if I have to, because I rarely clean nowadays, I more manage, but when I have to jump in and help, let's say, worst case scenario, everybody gets sick and all that stuff, and you need to deliver. So I still have to go there. Somehow it needs to get done. And next day I'm like, oh my goodness, like how did I do that? Anyways, so I started probably 17, 18, and then I think my first employee was a daughter of a friend, something like that. And then it was kind of trying and error, right? I was learning as well. Like, of course, the cleaning part, I had it down. And then I was learning the process of hiring and all that. And that it's kind of how it started. And then really quick, I learned that I needed like a training manual for people, at least, because some people learn different ways. And that is my thing, to deliver in the best way that the employees receive, right? Like it's mine to figure it out, not theirs to figure it out. So I decided to do a writing form and on job training. And now I'm actually developing videos. I haven't quite got there yet, but it's the next step, because I feel like some people are more visual. But I cannot be there every job training now anymore, because life. But if I have the video, at least I know that they're going to have, and they can go back and refer to that.
Right.
Absolutely. That's really cool. How did you know that it was time to hire and start building a team? Was it that your schedule was full, or was there something that that kind of clicked and said, okay, now's the time to kind of take my business to that next level?
It was a lot of things. Part of, yes, my schedule was getting tight. Second things, if I wanted to take a vacation, I can afford that. Like as cleaners, we need to have some time off, because it is your body is your tool, right? Basically, I mean, of course, you have the cleaning products, but you also need more. But other thing, it was like once you start making mistakes, and you know that it's because of you, then it's like when you need something because you're tired, and people respond different ways, like even when I'm tired, I'm still pretty good about still getting things done. But I have I have a friend the other day that told me, like, man, you're kind of like a bulldozer, like, and you just kind of push through and get things done. But not everybody's like that, right. Like, and also there's going to be days that I cannot be that, because if I'm sick, what happens? My daughter still needs to eat. I still need to eat. So basically that was my motivation, I guess, to start hiring.
That's really cool. And it's so true. It does give more security to your health and your life and, just in general, your future to go ahead and grow. And I know some people don't want to grow and that's their choice. And like you said, everybody's different. But I would definitely say that if you're getting to that point where you're really just getting worn out, that is a big indicator that you might want to hire team members.
So that was one more thing that I just remember now. Also was to keep the consistency and quality going, because a lot of times, so I'm a big believer that you need to listen to your customers. So every time that I go meet with a possible customer, I ask them, so what bring you to me? Why me? Why did you call me? And a lot of people were like, well, I heard that your quality is very good and you're consistent. And then I'm like, how can I be consistent if I'm also sick? So it was kind of about that. So my brand basically is built in that quality, consistency, and feedback from the clients. And what I've heard from clients is, well, when I give feedback from the person that I have right now, they don't take it very well. So I was like, okay, that is a differential that I need to have. So they need to be able to give us feedback, and we take professionally and not personally. Because that is another thing. Cleaning is very personal, I think.
Sure.
Right? I mean, especially when you're doing houses. Offices, not so much, but when you go to people's homes, man, you're only there for a couple hours, and they live there 365 days of the year,
Right.
So I take that into consideration as well.
So let's hypothetically, here I am, and I'm a solo cleaner, and my schedule is packed, and I'm tired, and I want to grow, and I can envision having a team and leading a team, but I'm so scared to take that leap, because why? Because I know that as soon as I do, they're not going to be able to provide the same quality of work that I do. And I know that my clients are not going to be happy with that. What would you say to me if I'm in that situation right now and I want to take that leap, but I have a fear that the quality won't be the same and it might destroy my reputation, it might bring my business down? What would you say to help me get over that fear and have the confidence to do what you did?
Okay. I would say, first, invest in yourself and knowledge. I know you're tired and worn out, but you need to learn how to do this. First thing. Every state, I feel like they have a small business administration that you can take some courses. Because, I mean, first you need to learn how to lead. Because, okay, the business aspect, there is a bunch of umbrellas, right? The cleaner is one of them. But then there is your knowledge, like you need to train, you need to manage, you need to have systems and procedures and all that, so you can be able to scale. So first, I would say start small, start asking around. I feel like when a person has no experience in hiring, it might be easier to reach out to a friend or something like that, and know somebody that they actually personally know and start bringing in, because they're going to have a learning scale as well, you know, to learn how to train somebody else, because it's one thing is do it yourself. There's different personalities, right? Some people are doers. They do themselves, they rather do themselves. That is great. But touching back what I was saying, like when you get sick and when you cannot show up, what happens? So they need to start learning how they are able to teach somebody else. That is the first step. And then they go from there, you know, because then they have to learn with their mistakes. And about the clients that they're afraid, people want to help you more than you think.
Yeah, that's so true.
I would take that as talk to your clients, you know, say like, look, I still want to make sure that my quality is 100% as if I am here, but right now I'm not able to. Also explain to your clients this, you know, what happens when I'm sick and I cannot come? My child is sick, or I have to take a trip, whatever is the reason, you know, like I need to make sure you are cared for. So, you know, putting your client first it pays big dividends, I would say, you know, in your future. So just be transparent with people, because a lot in business is communication, right? Like I feel like any kind of business that you go for, like even when things go wrong, like if you go in a restaurant and they bring you the wrong food and you're mad because like, man, I wanted to eat that. If somebody comes to you and apologize and actually give you a good customer service, you're going to be happy and you're going to go back there. You might tell your friends, but you might also tell like, look, but they took care of me. Right. I feel like it's the same thing with the cleaning. You know, I feel like people are quick to take things personal,
right,
instead of taking professionally and dealing with your customers. A good customer service, that is another thing you need. That's why I say invest in knowledge, you know, because all that you need to learn somehow, because it's hard to be the cleaner to change your mind to the business owner mindset.
Right. And I think that, you know, when business owners go from the solo to the team, there's always going to be a handful of clients, maybe a few that ain't going to be happy about it. You know, they're used to Fernanda being there. They like Fernanda. They like Fernanda's work.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they're like, hang on a second, Fernanda. So I'm going to pay you the same amount of money, but yet you're going to send somebody that's new to clean my house. So there's always going to be that. But I think I think that you said it very well, which is people want to support you more than you know. And if you communicate with your clients and say, hey, look, I'm a member of the American House Cleaners Association, have an opportunity as a leader in our community, in this industry, to provide career opportunities for, you know, our community members. And so this is what I'm going to do. And thank you for your support. I think that a lot of people will like to watch you and help you level up and be proud to say, hey, I'm one of Fernanda's original clients and I've been with her from the very beginning or whatnot. And so
they're proud of that.
Yeah, and they're proud of that. I agree.
I still have those, like, you know, I'm in business now for 7 years and I still have people that start with me. Like I tell them, although I'm not there, like, so it's interesting because in the cleaning, you see the kids growing.
Yeah.
Right. Like, or the children, like the baby, I call them Mama Fer babies. And it's so cool. But I mean, it's so cool, you know, to see where they were, where you are now. Like, but you know, the communication is very important, because I feel like that my clients that they started with me, they are very proud of where I am now as well, you know, because even though I'm not there in their house like I was in the beginning, but my hiring also, it's connected to me. That is, I have my core values. That is another thing that is important to people. Think about what is your value. What is it that you're communicating to your clients? Because having that to hire your employees is going to make your business to be aligned with yourself or whatever brand you're trying to build.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we have a code of ethics for our team with Handmade, and I really think that them understanding like the core, like you said, the core values and the core principles and the core common goal of the company, which for us, and I heard from you before we came on the live show, you were saying, you know, paying your team well is really important because they need to be compensated for the hard work that they do and the skilled work. Like you said, our bodies are our tools. And it's like our mind, our hands, our fingertips, our, you know, bending down, squatting, like getting in hard places to reach. And there's so much to what we do. And so one of our goals is to provide better and better career opportunities for our team. And that requires charging enough.
Yes.
And so that's something that Kevin and I have been pushing for years now, is telling everybody, raise your rates, just keep raising them. And like, if you can't raise them on your current clients because you don't want to lose any, raise them on your new clients, even $10 an hour, raise those prices so that you can pay your team well, so that you can have that strong foundation for them to stay with you
It's
through
true.
it. So,
Yeah, one thing I did in the beginning, because touching back about when you're not the solo cleaner anymore, there are going to be those clients that don't want you bringing other people to their home, and that is going to happen. That is not your problem. Like, I mean, you're just going to have to deal with it. But a way for you to prepare for that is, okay, let's say, you had a client that you charged not enough. You knew that it was not enough, but I mean, you're starting, like you were learning as well. Next client around that you're going to hire higher rates. And that client might quit because they is not happy, but you're trying to grow and build your business. And just think about it, like that one went on a different route. The new one came, and the next one is going to come, and the next one is going to come, because you're going to be learning and I know it's hard, like the day to day when you're like in a tight budget and you're like have the bills to pay, but you need to do that and trust that it's gonna work, because it does work. Like we that been in this business for a couple of years now, we know that that is gonna happen, and that is actually part of being in business, right? Like not every client is gonna be happy with you all the time, and you have to the sooner you accept that, the happier you'll be, or the better you'll be in business. But I mean, just keep trying to get more clients. Another thing is important for that, joining networking groups. That is so important. And I know it's hard, especially when you're the only one cleaning. And I don't know, my city is a small city, but we have some organizations, like especially for women business owners. There is an organization here that was a very good organization for me, because then you also get peer support.
Right.
Yep.
Especially like being business, it's so hard sometimes, like I don't know how, even nowadays, like some days I sit down, I was like, man, I think I'm gonna quit today, but no, like you just get support from the other people that are going through the same thing, because it doesn't matter the industry you are, it's always hard being a business owner, right? Like an entrepreneur. So, but you need support, so you keep going, so your tank is filled.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's great advice right there. So 2018, you took the leap from solo cleaner to business leader, and then take us from 2018 up until now, 2023. Over the last 5 years, what does your business look different now than it was 5 years ago when you started? What are y'all up to? Have your rates gone up at all? Are you still at the same rates that you started at, or?
It has gone up, because once I started hiring insurance and all the overhead, it was hard. Also, there was a period I feel like business is a trying strategy, right? So there was a time that I had like 12, 14 employees, like during this period, and that was not for me. By then I had a partner in the business with me. It was my now ex-husband. So we were kind of in this together. But what I realized, it was that we made a lot of money, but also the money was going out a lot, because we didn't have the systems and procedures in place. But I mean, we were booming, like we had an office, we had cars, and we had all this stuff, but the take home money, it wasn't great. So the stress level, it was here. And I was like, this is not for me personally. But then when COVID hit, that was hard. I mean, for everybody. I mean, we were trying to figure out, okay, so can we go out and clean? And that was an awesome learning, because I learned that we are essential business, which I've never paid attention to that before. I mean, I knew we were essential, but I didn't know, like, government level essential. Like, I was like, this is awesome. So what kept me going that time, it was the commercial, because so I started branching out a little bit, because when the houses were down, I was like, well, if we do some offices, that could also work. So we had two teams, like we have the janitorial side and the house cleaning side. And COVID what held the company was the janitorial side, because then we were doing like the sanitizing cleanings and all that. That was interesting enough. And that I tell everybody, my elder customers were the ones that never canceled cleaning. And the
Because they
people that
needed cleaning. They
Right.
needed
but
cleaning more than
also,
ever.
I feel like they also been through so much that they were like, it is just one more thing. And the youngsters, I say, like, they were like, oh no, don't come to my house, you know, like I cannot have you here. And I was like, because I was like, and I mean, I was so blessed at that time. You know, there was clients that paid us half of the rate because look, I want to support you because I know you guys need it. It was a great time. I mean, also there was people that canceled because look, sorry, I cannot afford it. And anyways, it was a great learning. But also I restructured my business at the time, so the partnership ended, so I stayed solo. That was another learning because going through that in a pandemic, it was hard, but made me learn a lot about customers, employees, keeping the team small. So then 21, I only had 3 people, so I went from 12 to 3. I was the 4th. I was cleaning a lot then because I was keeping the house. I mean, basically, I went the road starting open back up, but it was great for me to restructure and make the business how I wanted to be. So right now, I have a team of 6 people, and I'm happy where I am. I don't want to hire too much. I mean, I have 2 full times. I'm full time. Well, technically 3 because I'm still a employee of my business, but I'm more administrative. So I make sure, you know, the business is going. Clients, right, are happy, or we have sales and all that. And then I have 4 part-time. I still have some janitorial accounts, and I have house cleaning, and I love both. I just acquire clients as for us to maintain what we have. I don't want to grow much more than what I have. I could, but it's a personal choice that I chose not to. I'm happy where I am right now. Yeah. And then like last year, 2021, fall of 21, I started a major in social work. And I've been learning so much about people. I mean, I feel like that since the beginning, I was already very people focused, but now learning all that, I'm way more. And I've learned that cleaning has more to do with us, like health wise, physical health, mental health, than I ever imagined before, even though I knew, but now I know like the theory behind it, you know, like, and it's great. And it's interesting because when I go talk to people, especially like deep cleanings, you know, like when, I don't know you guys, but I feel a change of energy in the room when you have a deep cleaning. Like the air is more pure. Everything is like so great. You know, just like that feeling that you have once the house is clean and organized. And then people came and talked to me about it. It's like, oh my goodness, like every couple of days after, you know, the first cleaning, we feel so much better. And now I honestly know why, you know, because it's all connected to our mental health as well. So that makes me very good also.
Yeah.
So what got you interested in pursuing a degree in social work or mental? Is that something that's kind of always been on your mind, or
No.
what got you there?
It was actually, I did a soul searching. And so after the pandemic, I was like, man, I just feel that I need to help people more than what I do. I mean, with cleaning, I already feel like that is one of the purpose that I have within myself, you know, helping people. I think I always was people oriented, even in music. And I joke with, not joke, I have a saying that when I was a musician, I took care of people's soul, you know, like your intern. And now with the cleaning and the social work, I will take care of people's mind and hearts, you know. So in the pandemic, I was just kind of trying to see, is like, I just feel that there's something more that I need to be doing. And then I was looking at psychology, but it was still not it. And then I came about social work. And so social work is all about social justice, but also helping people, meeting people where they are. That is a big part of social work. And that is kind of how I feel like it is a little different from the other mental health professions. You know, you help the person holistically. And a lot of places don't look at people like that. It's just either like, okay, anyways, I'm not even going to go there. But with the cleaning, it's basically what it is, you know, because I mean, we cannot clean a house if there is clutter everywhere. We need to help somehow. Let's say I don't do clutter. I mean, I do have a separate work for that, but the clients know that before we come, they need to pick up. So they have that time. And so it kind of helps people to keep in track and,
Right.
and also help their lives to be more organized. And social work also came about employees, you know, like how to help them, because I mean, everybody goes through things in their lives, you know, like, and I feel like the more people oriented I am, the better I'm going to be for them. And also another thing that I actually doing a project in school, connected hoarding with cleaning. Because a lot of people, like, when they see, and hoarding could be a disorder, right? A lot of people say hoarding is very, like, in the media right now, especially with that program that they have, but that those are very extreme cases of hoarding. And that is like when people actually have a disorder and they're sick. But even like the little piles we have in our tables, you know, like here and there, that could also be considered hoarding. So everybody has a little bit, you know, nobody's like perfect. So connecting that to my business, I think it's kind of going to be a big part. I'm trying to develop a project in that, because I feel like some people, they treat either the cleaning part or the mental health, but I haven't find much business that they have both connected. I don't know if I'm actually going to pursue. I'm doing a research on that and seeing if it is something that I want to pursue. But I mean, I feel like it is very necessary, because a problem that I find with that is, of course, affordability, right? Because that comes from the experience that I have here. Normally, it's elder people, and there is, of course, a cost for both ends, the cleaning and the mental health. But if you treat one and don't treat the other, they cannot get better.
Right.
You know, like, and it's a lot of education too on that.
Right. Yeah. You know, I really look forward to you. I know that you're new to the AHCA, but I look forward to you taking our course and just experiencing, you know, the basically the foundation that we give on this with the mental health part,
Yeah.
and then also the physical health. And they all are kind of wrapped into, like, we need to have systems
Yes.
that provide a more holistic approach, especially with the people who have severe more severe mental illness. One thing that, you know, would be really good is, you know, how we have, so cleaning's like a specialty, it's a niche. You want your clients to have things picked up, because then you can go in there and the team can do the job that they are good at, what their mind is like used to doing, and they're going to do an excellent job. But maybe working with organizational, you know, people that work with organizing, and then services that, like, what they do is junk outs.
Yeah.
So they get rid of all the stuff, and then having that, you know, obviously in a lot of those situations, you need that, like you said, the mental health care and the social worker type mindset of, like, you know, walking them through, even letting their junk go sometimes. So sometimes, you know, I think blending them together is absolutely necessary to a certain point. We were talking to Melissa yesterday. We were talking about how, you know, even matching the right team members with the right clients is huge.
That is a
And,
big
like,
one.
kind of having a mind for that. Yeah. So.
That is true. And one thing else about that you touch about employees, matching them, it's very interesting. And I tell my employees, you know, like, I mean, I cannot always guarantee, you know, that the employee, the client is going to have that employee, because it's the same thing, you know, like, that's why we're a company, because I'm providing you quality and consistency. But I try my best to do that if they have a preference. But it's also great because, again, it's personalities, right? And I tell my employees, don't feel bad, you know, if a client prefers somebody else over you. It's not personal, I promise. But I mean, it is their preference, and it is what it is. And you're going to find, you know, the best clients that are good for you. So there you go.
Absolutely. And circling back to cleaning for mental and emotional wellness, at least here in Texas and in Washington State's probably the same in Mississippi, there in Hattiesburg. There's a lot more people that are working from home now, right? And so they're doing a lot more research and studies just recently, within the last 4 years, about how having and living in a properly cleaned and sanitized home
Yes.
significantly impacts our mental and our emotional well-being. Well, why? Because now so many people are working from home, right? And so before they were at the office, they come home, they take their kids to the baseball, and then they come back, cook dinner real quick, do the dishes, go to bed, rinse and repeat. But now they're in their home and they're looking around and they're like, oh my gosh, all the buildup, the stress and everything, coming into your mind, and it affects your productivity and your ability to do your job or to, earn revenue or whatnot when you're stressed out, and emotionally taxed because you're looking at your floors while you're working,
It is true.
Or your window.
Yeah. And also there's another thing, a differential about if you're a company, if you're an individual, if the client is a 1099 employee from the company that they work, they could offset some of the house cleaning as a business expense. I don't know if you guys knew that, but yeah. I mean, you have to look for a tax professional, to tell that to the client. I don't know, but I mean, that is something that they could do. It could be a benefit for clients.
Yeah, I think that's true in some places, and I think it's going to be a state-to-state thing because every state's got different funky
rules,
laws about 1099s and everything, and regulations and stuff like that. Mississippi's probably less regulations than, let's say, like a California or New
Washington
York.
State.
Washington. Yep.
That is true. It always needs to be checked state by state. But I mean, as a business owner, I would do all my research possible, to know what is available in your state, so you can present to your clients, because you never know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
So what do you think about the future of the cleaning industry there in your local community, and then just across the board? Are you excited about it? Are you worried about it? What are your thoughts on it?
I'm excited about it. I know about a lot of people talk about crisis, but I mean, I feel like if you have a good work ethic, you should not be worried about that, because there's always going to be people needing cleaning. Like, cleaning is one of those things that you need it. Somebody needs to do it, and why not if you take your steps, to be the best in your industry, like, you're going to be able to make it, again, knowledge is very important, be informed, keep up with what is going on. But I am very excited, because another thing, I feel like after COVID, the pandemic, everybody kind of started paying more attention to that, and they realize how cleaning, it's part of our daily lives, and people need it. And when people are busy working, last thing that they want to do is come home and clean the entire weekend. And one thing we know, that like, when clients, let's say people that hire us, they started cleaning, they're not going to do the entire house in one day like we do it. They're going to do one room. They might get all the bathrooms, they might get the kitchen, but something is going to be neglected, or they're going to dust and vacuum, but not, mop the floors or change the sheets, because it is a lot that it has to be done. And when you're doing yourself the cleaning, you might not pay attention to everything, because you have other things, like you got sidetracked. So I feel like people are more aware of that.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And if you're a regular listener of the Not Just a Cleaning Lady podcast show, you've heard this before, but I want to bring it up again, because Grace and I are really excited about the future of the cleaning industry as well. Never been more excited in our lives. Why? Because they're saying by the end of 2024 that 80% of American homes will employ a house cleaning company or a provider. And then, a few weeks ago, Goldman Sachs put out a report saying that within the very near future, there's going to be 35 million Americans who are going to lose their jobs because of AI and technology. And so people are like, well, what am I going to do? There's going to be a lot more applicants in the workforce. But also in that same study or a similar study, they were ranking industries as in which industries are most at risk in the immediate future of losing their jobs or their industry being affected. And it went from, and lawyers were at the top of that list as being replaced by technology. At the bottom of the list, the most safest industry that you can be in is, guess what? House cleaning. Cleaning is the safest. And why is that? Because the technology and the AI
can't replace
Yeah.
cleaner. Yeah, it's
I mean,
still,
they tried with, like the little robots, but I mean, they got
The little
stuck.
robot
Like,
that
it does
spreads
not
the
work.
shit all over the floor and everything. And we see the pictures in the group, and they're like, "Oh, look at what the robot did."
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're so right. And I mean, even if people start going to work more from home, then you're gonna have their houses. Like if,
Yep.
let's say, the companies don't have the office anymore. Yeah, you have two ends of the stick, right? Like the house and the company.
Yep.
You
Right.
could, let's say, like that.
And I also think, and I shouldn't say think, it's a fact that more millennials are starting to call in and hire our services, right?
Yes.
And so it's just millennials don't seem to have had that like discipline or teaching on how to clean
Mhm.
your house by
That
their
is true.
parents or whatnot. And so they really don't know how to clean. And so
Mhm.
they're happy. They want a professional. They want someone that's going to use products that are not going to be harmful for them. And they're happy to pay a professional, and they want somebody that's certified, that's professional, and
Mhm.
that knows how to do something that they don't know. They're happy to pay professional rates for it. And so that's another reason to be excited about the future in the industry as well.
Yeah, I feel like they learn how to delegate better than our parents' generation. Let's say like that, because I feel like growing up, we were taught that we have to do it all.
Yeah.
And like I have some clients like that. And it took some convincing on the husband side for the wife to be okay with the cleaning
Oh,
company,
wow.
because like they took pride in taking care of the house, and which, of course, I mean, it's part of it, or I mean, if they were raised like that. But when they give in and they let us take care of, they're like, oh my goodness, why did I wait so long for that to happen? And I feel like millennials don't have that much, like they're like, I want my time. And that is actually one of what I tell people. I'm here to give you more time, to free you, for you to do anything with your time better than just come in here and clean. Go enjoy your weekend. Go, I don't know, have your nails done or something like that. Go take a walk, and you don't have to worry. Like when you come back, the house is gonna be clean.
Yep. I remember my mom and my dad. My dad would do everything. If there was a problem with the car, he was under the hood
Mm-hmm.
fixing it. If there was something wrong with the house, he's on the roof. He's underneath the house
Mm-hmm.
doing electrical work, doing plumbing work. Now, there's millennials that don't even own a lawnmower. They don't even own a vacuum. And why? Because they have the landscaper come over. They have the house cleaning company come over. And like you said, they're so busy, and they're not in that mindset where I have to do everything. Like I'm the woman of the house. No one's going to clean this house but me. I'm the man of the house. No mechanic is going to touch this car. And so there's a shift in that mindset where they're happy to outsource, all these tasks or whatnot.
Right.
That generation before us or whatnot would be very hesitant to have a house cleaner come in, or someone come in and work on the plumbing, and also to save money too, right?
Mm-hmm. That
Yeah,
is true.
and it really, I think that there's a lot of evidence that shows that when you do outsource, especially if you're an entrepreneur, or even if you're like a sales rep and you work from home, and you need to keep in that good mindset in order to generate more revenue, it's extremely helpful to outsource the house cleaning and the yard work and all these things that would be taking time and mental energy. And then if they don't get done, then you're feeling like discouraged, and you're just not as productive. And so millennials are smart to know to outsource. So
I'm kind of in between the millennials, or like I kind of consider myself a millennial too. But I mean, anyways, but yeah, they are smart.
yeah.
Hey,
Absolutely. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
need to circle back to something that you guys asked, and I remember
Let's
that I
go.
didn't answer. You guys said if I've raised my prices, like like doing like from, I think, I don't know, 18 to now, I did. So one thing that made me confident about rising prices is like the more I learned, the more I knew that I was worth what I was charging, because then I could pay my employees better. In Mississippi, the minimum wage is still $7.25, which is like how can you leave that? I'm able to start my employees almost double of that, like just for a start, and kind of I raise from that, because I mean, of course, we have the cost from training and all, and I mean, nowadays I don't know if if there is business hiring a minimum wage here, I don't know how, you know, because you definitely cannot even barely eat for that nowadays. But it is very important for you to do that, you know, little by little, higher your prices. But the way how you do that is like you get confident about learning more and knowing that you're worth what you are, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I think, you know, that's why we started the AHCA. And I've been doing this for a few years, you know, before the pandemic even came. And we were, well, some states in Washington state where our team is there, they said that we were not essential. And so we
I think I heard that you guys talking about that was just like, how? You know, like,
and we're like, oh no, we're going, we're working,
Yeah.
we're rocking and rolling.
We
And we had people calling
had
for
house cleaners
services
in our area that were reporting us to the governor and trying to get us shut down. And it's like, we've already emailed the governor 25,000 times and told them we're more essential than ever before. And it's now's our time to go out there and do what we can
shine.
to make a difference in the community. Our time to shine.
Yeah.
So
this is our hero moment.
Yep.
And so to feed off of what you're saying, like just knowing your importance. It's so like, so our culture, I'm sure in Brazil too, it's all over the world, is that cleaners are just doing menial labor. It's just a spray. It's mainly the tools and the it's the stuff they're spraying on there that's doing all the work, and they're just doing something that a monkey could do. And that is absolutely couldn't be further from the truth. If that was true, then we would be in danger of AI taking over what we do. But we're not in danger of that because what we do is so skilled. So it's kind of cool. Like, you know, with COVID, it kind of proved we are essential, and it got people thinking more along those lines of like, wow, like cleanliness is really important. It's not just a convenience. It's not just a you know, looks pretty kind of thing. It's not just for the aesthetics. It is actually for physical health as well. And so, and then now with the AI coming out and like really recognizing that, hey, AI is not going to be able to replace us, not for the next probably million years. And it's going to take them a long time to figure that out. Unless we all just live in square boxes with like nothing in it and they just spray it down. But
that's what they want us to do, but that ain't going to happen either.
No.
But so it's pretty cool. Just kind of back to back. And we started the AHCA to raise respect and awareness for the skill of this trade and the necessity of this trade. So we were already saying it before the pandemic. So it was just kind of cool that all that like kind of trickled effect of, you know.
I feel it's very important for people to know their value, you know, because, for example, my mom in Brazil, she was a house cleaner. And actually, that's also why I started. I forgot about that because, you know, like I've seen her doing it. And I was like, wow, that is something that I could do as well. But down there, people don't value cleaners as much as here. Although here, people also sometimes don't value as much, but that is even like less, you know. So when I created my company, I was like, I need to be a company. So, you know, like I know how much because I mean, there is a lot of time involved, right? In creating and cleaning companies. You have to learn a lot too. Because I mean, another thing, you need to know which product to use where, which surfaces is safe. So that is also like a lot because sometimes your clients don't know what you can use, but you do. So that is also important knowledge to have because
that is so true. And taking courses, and the PCP course like gives a foundation for that. So it goes over the pH levels and which pH levels are safe on which surfaces, and it builds that foundation so that you can build your own structure of how you want to use the supplies. And because every geographical location is different too. The buildup, the minerals in the water are going to be different from one location to the next, even a town over. So it really takes, you know, every individual in their cleaning company needs to have that foundation, knowing what is safe to use, what's most effective against the contaminants, how to identify them. All of that really is important to know. And then you really want to be going into a client's house and educating them,
Yeah.
because they're, they don't, that's not their profession.
Yeah.
So they usually don't know.
Yeah.
But
And I've heard, like, let's say the clients have a new type of flooring, and the people that install the flooring tell them, you can use this product, and you know that you cannot use that product.
Right.
And then you tell your clients, like, don't use that product. And they're like, oh no, but so and so told me. And then,
Are we
like,
talking
normally,
about Bona?
yeah.
I figured that's the way it always goes, right?
There
Always
you
the
go.
manufacturer said Bona, and it's like, well, go ahead and use Bona, but we're not going to be. You're going to have to call somebody else, not us, to fix your problem.
There you go. So, anyways,
it's true. I actually wrote a post the other day about, well, it's partly about this, but the manufacturers work with the cleaning product companies. So they're like in with each other. And it's like, us as cleaners don't work with either of them. It makes no sense. And it's like, I honestly think that the manufacturers recommend products that wear down the surfaces faster over time. So you have to replace that floor sooner.
Yeah.
Or you want to. It might still function, but it just doesn't installer, or or there's buildup on it from Bona. And then if you have to replace your floor sooner, you choose to because they're looking dull, or the countertop is looking dull, then they make more money. Yeah. Because they're coming in and putting in new floors. Or
that is true.
So yeah.
So I developed my own cleaning product because of that.
Oh, awesome.
It's kind of a finishing product. You cannot use on everything, but you definitely can use in the kitchen and the toilet countertops, right? Because it's alcohol based. So it's a sanitizing product, but also is essential oil. So it smells good. And we know that some clients, for them, it's only clean if it smells good.
Yes.
So I have 2-in-1 product, my employees know where you can use the product and where you cannot. So that is another differential, like, for me, because once you're in this industry, you can, like, keep tackling to kind of make your company more profitable. Right. And I feel like that sometimes people don't think about that, like, there is a lot of advantages of opening your own company instead of just being an individual. But I mean, technically you could be like a company even if you're one person, but I would encourage, like, the people here to go that route and get more informed, because it is worth it.
Awesome.
Yep, for sure. Fernanda, what would you say to a house cleaner right now that has been operating under the table just for cash, maybe for many years, and has, thought maybe I should, take my business to the next level and get legal, but maybe there's not any advantages to that or whatnot. So if someone's kind of thinking about, should I become a legitimate business or not, and what benefits comes from that, what would you tell them?
Do it. There is lots of benefits. Like, one is your net profit. It is going to be higher. At first, you might have to pay those fees, like, and I don't know, pay somebody. If you don't know how to write the bylaws and all the stuff for your business, you might have to pay somebody to do it. But the future is going to be brighter, because let's say, I don't know, if an office or even houses, I don't know, they are taking bids. If I go in with my structure and they want, somebody that is consistent and professional, they're definitely going to go with me over an individual. Because another thing, once you're a company, you can have insurance, right? And that is a big one. Thankfully, I've never had to use my insurance, but is there for a purpose. But let's say, you damage something and it's like, you cannot afford. You could be sued because you couldn't afford to pay for a damage that you did. And when it's a company, their insurance is there. And at least you're going to be covered. That is, there's other benefits. You could have health insurance, like, you could go to conferences, let's say, like that. And your taxes could be lower too, because, as a company, there's some certain of things that you can write as a business expense,
Yep.
So there are only benefits, in my opinion. to be a company over being an individual.
And I really like that you say the future is brighter. Like the doors open up for you to really grow and make that more profit and really build a strong team. And when you're doing everything under the table, it kind of just keeps you down, you know?
Yeah. And there's another thing. Let's say you build a company and one day it is not cleaning that you want to do anymore. You could sell the brand.
Right.
Not just the brand, you could sell the company, the structure, if you don't want to sell your brand. You know, there's many ways, but I mean, at least you have something. And then when you're an individual, you might sell your schedule, you know, like, or you might just like let it go. So, and then all those business relationships you had, it's gone. So basically the work you build, it's gone.
Right. It's so true.
Absolutely. So we got about 3 minutes left, Fernanda. Any closing questions or anything you'd like to add or to say to the audience here as we wrap this up today?
What I want to say, there's one thing I want to say. Invest in your people, you know, invest in your employees, make a good environment for them to work, because cleaning is hard, you know, like we know is physical, but I feel like the more you give to your employees and make a good environment for them to work, the better they will be for you. Like take care of them and they're going to take care of your clients, you know, and yourself. And it's just like make it better for everybody. You know, like there was a period in my company that the environment was not as good, you know, especially like during COVID when we were all trying to figure out, but I mean, finally I did it, you know, like, and I'm like, it's just good to wake up and hear from your employees that you are a good boss. And I mean, I even tell them, don't call me boss, just call me Fer, you know, because I tell them like, we are here, we are all the same level. I mean, of course we have to have the rules and stuff, but I mean, I will never send them to do something that I would not go there and do it myself. There's another thing, you know. So just take care of your people, basically. And also invest in knowledge, you know, like there is a lot of resources. I know that our community provides a lot of resources as well, but also don't be afraid to reach out to resources. I'm sorry, doggy. Resources in other places, you know, like there's lots.
Absolutely. Fernanda Cavalaro, thank you for joining us today on the Not Just a Cleaning Lady podcast show. It's been amazing to get to know you and Mama Fer Cleaning Services out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And we wish you a great rest of your day today and week ahead. And congratulations on your continued success in the cleaning industry.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for your time. And this is Caroline at the background.
Hi, Carolina. And welcome to the AHCA.
Thank you so much.
We're really happy that you're with us.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to getting to learn all the resources you guys offer. And I'm excited to be here. And if anybody wants to reach out and talk, like, you know, like I am there in the community. I am all for networking and talking to people because I think we need to share what we know. You know, it's not because you share with other people that they're going to take it from you. Actually, I feel like the more you give, the more you're going to have. And there is space for everybody in this industry. Like,
absolutely. Yes. The combination of many minds is stronger than one mind.
Yes. Don't feel afraid to share, you know.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, Fernanda. It was really wonderful to see you today, meet you and learn more about your business. And we should do this again sometime with you in the future. And
let's see how it's
know
going.
Where you're at. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.